Hello, my friends. This is Andy and Hedia coming live from Yorba Linda, California for the Living Fearless Devotional.
A production of resurrectministry.com, where you can deepen your relationship with Christ. And if you do not yet know him, he will meet you where you are. That is a promise of our Lord. He is a living relational God. And if you haven't experienced the redemptive power of Christ, I invite you to try, to reach out with sincerity in your heart, and he will meet you where you are. Absolutely. So we have Bible resources, worship bands, pastors to listen to, everything you need to begin your walk with Christ or to deepen your relationship wherever you may be in your journey. If you'd like to drop us a line or a comment, we'd love to hear from you. You could do it in the comment section on the website. And if you care to partner with us, you can click the Donate Now button.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Make sure to go into the description wherever you're watching this, and or even if you're listening on a podcast, and you'll find some links that will lead you to some of our sponsors. Make sure and hit those links and check them out, including, I believe I put the Real Life Network.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure that I did.
Please download the app. We've had hundreds. Pastor Jack's had hundreds of thousands of downloads since this week, since the launch. And it's just such a blessing for people to subscribe and like and share the network, so that we could build its capacity.
I see that they've already added some new people. Don't ask me what their names are. I just saw that they added some new people that I didn't see the first time. Yeah, so it's going to be growing. And they even had kids programming for those of you that have little ones that you don't want them going on YouTube or
just watching
TikTok or whatever.
Watching mainstream TV. I was like, is that supposed to be a girl or a boy? It's Disney.
You can't get away from it.
Everywhere.
It's crazy. So just go to the Real Life Network and that's all you watch. And you'll be able to keep up on the news because Jack likes to keep up on the news.
Yes.
We sent them a video that came out of El Dorado High School, which is one of our high schools here in the Placentia Yorba Linda Unified School District, where a teacher was teaching something inappropriate that was not on the curriculum about I'll just say some inappropriate stuff.
Gay sexual encounters.
It's gone worldwide. It's already had millions of views, so I'm sure that if you haven't seen it yet,
and can you imagine that started from some kid doing it on an anonymous Instagram account?
Yep.
That's how the post started.
Yep.
It went absolutely all over the world.
And just one more thing, because maybe there's people that don't know this yet, but the PYLUSD is something where Hetty and I have been involved with for years, trying to change. I've been speaking at school board meetings. I've been helping some of the people that are running for school board get elected, and we've been able to get a majority of the school board members to be parents who care, that don't want their children indoctrinated and hate all the sexualization of the kids. And they have now got hired a new superintendent who is amazing and took action immediately when that video, before it even really went viral. I sent it to him right as soon as somebody sent it to me. And it was really early. He took action, decisive action. Decisive, not divisive. Decisive. Well, divisive with some people. Decisive action. So I just want to make sure that was pointed out, because some people say,
Carrie saw the school thing.
Oh, did she?
Carrie, how'd you see it? My goodness, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Link is not on YouTube. What? It shows that we're on YouTube. Us on YouTube?
No, one of the links. Maybe Pastor Jack's network or something.
I got you. Internet keeps going down. And it shows that we're strong on our end. So just keep us up to date what's happening here. It's on Instagram.
Wow.
So she saw it on Instagram. That's where I first saw it. All right, let's get to the devotional. And it's Charles Spurgeon, Morning by Morning, for June 3rd. The reference is 1 Chronicles 4:23. It says, "These were the potters and those that dwelt among plants and hedges. There they dwelt with the king for his work." Charles Spurgeon says, potters weren't considered the highest class of workers, and the material they used was nothing but clay. The king needed them, however, so they were employed in royal work. We as well may be engaged in the most menial tasks for the Lord, but it is still a great privilege to do anything for the king. Thus, we will continue in our calling, with the hope that even while we sleep among the campfires, the wings of our dove are sheathed with silver, its feathers with shining gold. Our text verse tells us of those that dwelt among plants and hedges, those living and working in rough and difficult conditions. Perhaps they desired to live in the city among the working of society and places of refinement, but they stayed in the appointed places, for they were doing the king's work. In the same way, the place of our calling is fixed, and we are not to leave it due to some fleeting whim or mood. Instead, we are to serve the Lord where we are by being a blessing to those around us. These potters and gardeners had royal company, for they dwelt with the king. And although they had to live among plant and hedges, it was there they dwelt with the king. There is no place or occupation, however menial, that can prohibit us from communing with our divine Lord, as long as that place, our occupation, is of him. Even when visiting the poor in their roach-infested shacks, factories, or jails, we can go with the king. We can go with the king. In all our works of faith, we can count on fellowship with Jesus. And it is when we are at his work, we will encounter his smile. You unknown servants who work for your Lord amid the dirt and wretchedness of the lowest class, be of good cheer. Jewels have been found in the dunghills of life.
In the dunghills, folks.
Ordinary clay pots have been filled with heavenly treasure, and ugly weeds have been transformed into beautiful flowers. Continue to dwell with the king, doing his work. And when he writes his final chronicles, your name will be recorded there.
Oh, so much of this meant so much to me.
All right. Well, you get started.
Okay.
All right.
It's so counterintuitive. Everything with the Lord is backwards from what we know. The first will be last and the last will be first. It's backwards from what the world teaches us. And it is like in my own walk, it was first I think, oh, I'm going to have this life of leisure. I'm just going to enjoy going to church. I'm going to go to this fancy movie star church up the street from me, and I'm going to hang out in Bel Air, and all will be well.
Amongst your peeps.
Amongst my peeps. And then it was like, start this ministry, run like a rabbit. And I was scared half out of my wits. But then once I gained the confidence, I expected that I was going to live the life that I had lived as a Muslim, like meaning that my capacity, what God has put on me, was going to now be for the kingdom. Mm-hmm. So in other words, I was going to again leave my daughter at home, and I was going to work. I was going to work even though I was working, I thought I wasn't going to be working anymore. And now I'm going to be working for the kingdom. And I was going to build this ministry. Yeah, I thought I just shifted responsibilities, and now I'm going to be doing all of that knowledge, all of that expertise, everything I gained. Now I'm just going to do it for the kingdom instead.
That's because that's what your flesh knew.
Yes.
Your flesh only knew that.
That's all I knew.
That's how you had to work.
Yeah. That's what I was going to do. And then what does he do?
What does he do?
And then he moves me to Orange County, marries a man, and sits me in the house.
That's not that far from what I'm actually feeling from this devotional, but go ahead.
But it's just that, you know what I mean? He did the exact opposite of what I expected was going to happen. And so it's not just, that we have all these children, even the responsibility of my own kid. I mean, I spend all day long driving her back and forth. Now we have this, intensive therapy that she's going through. So 5 nights a week I'm driving there, and then I'm driving her to cheer. And then, you know what I mean? It's like literally all day long. It's just so funny that in the flesh, it seems so counterintuitive. It's like, how am I going to build my ministry this way? But this devotional, it's exactly what God is saying. He's like, stay where I plant you. I am growing you where I plant you. And it's absolutely true, because the qualities that he's building in me, I would not be building had I run off and built ministry like I did FBI work. You know what I mean?
Counterterrorism tools that they're now using against us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me because a new dear friend of mine that's also an Iranian, but she's been a seasoned saint. She's been a believer for 30 years. She told me, she says, be careful. I see strong, successful Iranian women start to work for the kingdom and their marriages fall apart. And I was like, oh, that's not going to happen to me because I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? And so it was even validated to me even more so why the Lord made the situation the way he did. And that Spurgeon's advice is meet the Lord where he puts you, even if you're the potter.
Yep.
Right? I love it. It's so good.
Wow. Yeah. For me, I see I saw a little bit of my life. Now we're very blessed where we live. We're blessed. And I want to make sure that I say that first, that we could be far worse off. However, at our age, now I'm a lot older than you. I'm like 30 or 40 years older than you. But I look at my decades of law enforcement, getting shot at, getting in car chases, and then on occasionally crashing pretty wildly, fiery, crazy car crashes, chasing people, to getting in fights, getting maced, which is the spray that gets it. I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking I did all that for years, got bit by police dogs for 40 years. And then I think about that, and then I see some of my friends who's all their kids, they have grandkids now, and they going to Acapulco, it's just them, right? Yeah. and I see them, and they have these big ranches now that they bought in Tennessee, Chuck Knight. Yes. I have another friend who bought a very nice property in Idaho. Another guy in Missouri, they're out there riding horses, and they have nowhere to go. Yeah. And I look at them and I think, wow, that's actually pretty cool. And then I get in my car and I drive to 7 different locations every day with these darn kids. But what stops me in my tracks is that I go, wow, this is what God has called me to do. And I so love it. And I'm getting emotional again. Oh my gosh. I love my time with them, these little moments of time. And I love it when my 16-year-old son, who now says he's 17. How old is he now? 17. Who has his own car now, and he's driving around, and he says, Dad, can I not drive? Can I just ride with you? Because I miss riding with you. Oh. And so those moments of confirmation that God sets down and says, I just want to send you this gift, Andy, because you need to understand why you're doing this and your friends are doing that. Your friends are bored out of their freaking minds. Sure, every so often they go to Acapulco.
Or they may not be.
Yeah, who cares? My thought is
their life doesn't
my flesh is telling me they're bored. No, they're sick all the time. They got all kinds of stuff going on. But the kids are keeping us young, Schnugs.
You think so?
But I just think about that. I was sitting yesterday at Tuffrey Middle School I had to be there at 7:30. Yes. It was not warm. And I had my stupid Lululemon. I don't even know why. Now Lululemon's on my list of bad places. But and that doesn't keep you warm, by the way. And I'm sitting there, and it's starting to get cold. And what we're supposed to be watching is a film festival of Falcon Films at Tuffrey Elementary, that the kids have made all these little tiny short movies.
Tuffrey Middle, by the way.
What'd I say?
Elementary.
Oh, sorry, Tuffrey Middle School. And Ray doesn't tell me I should have brought a lawn chair, number one. So I'm sitting on the cement to begin with, and it's cold. I mean, this has a point, but when it talks about living amongst the weeds and the hedges, there I am, 61 years old, at a Tuffrey Middle School, sitting on the ground to watch as a bunch of really bad films, but really good at the same time, right? They're really bad, but they're really good. I mean, it's really like they do some, the scene changes and the music, and nothing matches. Nice. the gun goes boom and then bang. Like it's like watching an old Japanese King Kong or Godzilla movie. And then it gets colder and colder, and it was an hour until the thing started. And I just loved it. It really was. I was uncomfortable. And what I loved is that Ray came out and gave me a hug and sat down. And she goes, I thank you for coming. She was only in one of the 9 films for maybe 2 minutes. But it made all the difference to her.
Yes.
Right. And that's what God wants us to show them, what living with God looks like.
Yes.
And there was a lot of people there, but I was the only,
Redhead one?
No. But I showed up.
You were the only what?
Her mom doesn't show up.
Oh,
It's like I go to the sports and then it's kind of the same thing. But it means so much to them. And I've tried to convey that as part of, growing up with the kids, and that it's so important to be there, just to be there, even if they don't play. Like there are games that, Kelly got brought up to varsity, and there was a game that he didn't play at all, but he still really appreciated the fact that we can. So, I mean, those are the things that I thought about, that, these moments in time where we're just a parent, where we could have been past that.
yes.
You know what I mean? Considering,
or have never been that.
Yes. Or be the parent that's never around, that we just said, you know what, it's more about us than about you guys. You guys just fend for yourself. I know parents that have done that.
Parents who still do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think, and ladies, Carrie and Kate, Carrie's saying, and from what little I know about you, Carrie, I get that my life seems small to me now. Not bad, just small. And that's exactly, I think, what this devotional, what the point is that nothing is small. When you're taking care, as if I'm not mistaken, that it's very important that you're taking care of your husband right now, and that is where the Lord has planted you. That He's planted us all in these, in a uniquely important way, doing what He's called us to do and be in that moment. And remember, what I also realized, which I kind of expressed, but the point that I want to drive home is that it's not necessarily just service. In other words, that we're doing something for someone, but what He's growing inside of us so that we can be a greater gift to the kingdom. So the refinement of character and the refinement of our actions, the drawing nearer to God, so that we can be of service to the kingdom in ways in which we don't even know. So can I talk about my divine appointment?
Yes.
So I
did have to think about that.
I'm driving back and forth constantly. And so I sometimes get sad that I am not having as many divine appointments as I would like, because all I do is sit in the car going back and forth an hour each direction. And we were in Bible study with our friends. And then one of the ladies there was like, I really miss witnessing to people. I feel like I have no opportunities to witness. And I kind of nonchalantly say, because this is what I'm going through with the Lord, well, Tiffy, I prayed for it. Like, of course I prayed. And I'm like, well, what I mean is that I have this funny experience. It's almost like a game that I play with the Lord, is that I forget. I don't have any divine appointments. And then I remember and I say, oh, Lord, please give me divine appointments. Give me somebody to minister to. Give me something, some way in which I could speak of you today. And I'd done that this particular morning, yesterday. And I get into this Starbucks as I'm waiting for my daughter to come out of therapy. And there is an old friend from our Bible study that is 45 minutes away. So he looks at me like, what are you doing here? Because he knows I live very close to where our Bible study was. And so we just started talking, and it was, he really, really needed somebody to listen to him. And he really just needed someone to talk. And so when we prayed, I said, and, he's feeling pretty hopeless and very, very difficult circumstances. And so what came out of my heart to pray for him is like, Lord, he needed to see you show up in power today. And you sent me here. And I said, may every single day you send one of your sons and daughters to meet him, so that he knows he is loved, and that that you're with him, and that you're watching, and that you're comforting, and that you'll just send somebody somewhere over the phone, in person, to say, hey, I'm here. I'm walking with you. I will never leave you or forsake you. And so he started crying when I said that. in the prayer. But it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful that in my menial tasks as the potter, in the dunghill of life, the opportunity.
Yeah, that really is a little bit of a dunghill, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So never despair, folks. We could be a benefit to the kingdom in the most miraculous ways.
And I think there's ways that people that maybe have found themselves at home and it appears that they have nothing else going on, that you really need to try to find something that you can do for the kingdom. I mean, really be creative. I think of this, I wrote it down while you were talking because it made me think about it, but there's tons of foster families out there and foster children that are living, short of stuff. And I think about what Friends Church does. One of the positive things that they do is they do a box of love. And you could do, whoever's listening to this, you could do a smaller version of what the church does, because it does thousands of these boxes and has the whole congregation. But you could yourself get a few boxes and fill them with things that you think kids will need. What says toothpaste, socks, hair brushes, hair ties, and just do that, and then maybe write a note on the inside and some scripture and what do you call those things you hand out to people that have tracks? Put some track in there, or one of your favorite books in there.
Well, let's even talk about the foster system. Another very cool program they have is a foster parent mentor. So if you don't have the financial means to donate a penny, you could be a mentor to these single moms that are giving up their children, or the parents that are adopting them and are just frazzled, that need an occasional babysitter, or just need somebody to talk to, or somebody to drive them to the store. There's very cool ways to be of help to people.
Volunteering at senior centers and for reading. You could be a reader and walk in and say, I want to volunteer my time to read to some of the people that maybe are having difficulty seeing or having difficulty themselves. And, I'd be happy to do this as a group and read to them on every Thursday.
Yeah.
And bring one of your, like my book, Manhood, which is over there, by Josh Hawley. It's a really good book, both with some great information about being a man mixed with some scripture. And so you get that kind of book, so that it's not just simply reading the Bible,
right? Or
maybe even a devotional, which is almost purely biblical narratives. That you can get a book that kind of has a little bit of both in there. That would be, an introduction to some of these people. I'm just thinking about this. You got to kind of sit down and think, what is it that's in my community that I think that I could be of assistance and be a light for Jesus Christ.
Amen.
To add a little bit more spice to your day. You never know. And you can't leave the house.
Interestingly, there's a lot of online things. I was just going to say, we get emails from the Unshaken conference all the time asking people to be Christian mentors to kids. And that's all done online.
Yeah. Good idea, Snooks.
Yeah. So, and Carrie,
I want to make sure everybody knows this is green tea, by the way. It looks
jasmine tea.
Jasmine green tea.
Well, anybody who's traveled to Morocco, Cindy's not on, so she would have recognized it. But these are Moroccan teacups.
Yeah, I never would have put tea in a glass cup like that. It burns your hands.
Well, that's why on the painted section, it's easier to hold. So you hold it with it's painted.
I never knew they had such a thing. I learned so much.
You're just becoming a little more cultured. Thanks. You're so welcome, Carrie. And I'm sure you're walking beautifully.
Yeah.
It's a big responsibility to take care of family. Lisa's saying, and don't forget, during the millennial kingdom, we're all going to be ruling with Jesus. And I would imagine there's some thought going into our placement there, interdependent on our work now. I always wondered about that, Lisa. They say that it's, that the Lord will give us crowns. And Paul constantly refers to us being rewarded for how we serve the kingdom in this life when we get up there. So I don't know. Fascinating to think of, though.
Very cool.
We'll be governors or just Valley Parkers. Lisa's saying, I'm helping watch my grandkids while the parents are away, and prayed with the housekeeper who is Christian for my granddaughter because she had night terrors. Aw, and her parents aren't Christian. Oh, how sweet. But the housekeeper was. I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
Iris.
My daughter is a social worker. The organization she works for, the clients are kids who have aged out of foster care system, and they struggle so much. She shares little stories with me. I have to tell her about the love box at the bag. Yeah, it's a great idea. They may like to do that there. That's awesome. Cindy knows a lot about kids that age out of foster care. If I'm not mistaken, Cindy has fostered 11 children.
Wow.
And now has 32 grandchildren. It's amazing.
That is
amazing.
Pray. And
second night she slept well. Hopefully tonight she'll also sleep peacefully.
That'll be a hat trick. That's what we call a hat trick.
What's a hat trick?
When you, in hockey, if you score 3 goals, that's a hat trick.
Oh,
so
nice.
If she sleeps 3 nights in a row, she'll have the hat trick of sleep.
Yes. Oh, Cindy, you are here. Cindy 15. Says it's 15 kids, not 11. I thought some of those were, I thought some of those were yours, Cindy.
Yeah, me too. I saw a great picture
or maybe
of her.
Some of them are, and there's more than 15. There's like 18 total.
Is the picture that is on Facebook of you and your daughter, that's your birth, your blood? Because you guys look very much alike. I think even one person said, "Is that your sister?"
That's cute.
Now, sometimes, the daughter might think, "Hey, wait a minute. Do I look like what's Cindy? Probably 40 years old."
People used to say that to me. Who's older, you or your brother? And I'd be like, oh, he's like 250 pounds, bald head, long white beard. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Where's
That's
a turban?
Mean. That's just mean.
A turban and a robe. All right. Let's get to the scripture.
Just 2. Yep. 1 Chronicles 4:23. These were the potters, and those that dwelt among the plants and the hedges. There they dwelt with the king for his work. It's so beautiful. I mean, now after everything we talked about, right? These were the potters. That's all they did. They just made clay pots.
And what is it we find from these ancient communities, ancient villages and things? We find the pots.
Oh yeah.
Their legacy has
for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Nothing survives but the pots.
Yeah, we don't find any king's robes necessarily. I'm sure there may have been one buried somewhere, but what do we often find, whether it's in an Indian, old Indian reservation or
things made out of clay?
Egypt, there's always things made out of clay.
It's amazing. Isn't it? God, that verse has completely different meaning now. I love that.
Psalms 68:13. Even
those who lived among the sheepfold found treasures, doves with the wings of silver and feathers of gold. And I mean, in 1 Chronicles 4:23, it says that, and they dwelt among the plants and the hedges, meaning it was difficult. They had like nowhere to lay their head, but there they were with the king. That's what we need to remember every day. Yep. But there we're with the king.
Even these people, this is another reason I think why, where it says even those who lived
among the
sheepfolds.
Yeah, in the sheep.
Where was Jesus born?
In the sheepfold. Exactly.
Isn't that something? And what is a Psalm in 68? That's how many years?
5,000 years ago.
So 3,000 essentially.
2,000 to 3,000
before Jesus.
Yes.
Was born.
Yes.
Wow. Is that another?
Prophetic scripture?
Yeah, prophetic scripture.
I don't know.
Interesting. Want to hear what Jim has to say?
Hold on. So 15, Cindy, yes, my daughter. She is 45 in 65. Wow, Cindy. Woohoo.
Yeah, you guys look so similar. You really do look like sisters.
So of the 15 children, Cindy, only one of them is your blood child. I didn't realize that. I thought at least like 3 of them were.
Wow.
Kate says, I always feel guilty that I'm unable to do physically anything for the Lord, but I do pray and encourage others. Absolutely. And maintain the website, but there is no interaction with others, just lots of visitors. Well, see, Kate, that's something my mentor told me when we were starting an online ministry. She says, you get no feedback. And she says, at times that could be very, very difficult, because you have no idea that what you're putting out in the world, how it blesses other people, unless by chance somebody reaches out and says, thank you, and sends you a comment. Other than that, you have no idea the impact you're making for the kingdom. And it's a difficult ministry, but it's a very important one, Kate, and telling your story and blessing others with your testimony and surviving what you survived, I am sure has been very impactful for people.
Yeah, you never know if your website is a mustard seed for somebody or a mountain.
Yes.
It says, but it doesn't matter. In God's eyes, it's they're equal because it all makes a difference. It's a seed planted that will lead them to Jesus Christ.
Okay, now I'm really confused. Cindy's saying 5 are my bio, 15 are foster, and 3 are adopted.
So 20
children?
No, 23.
23 children total, Cindy?
I was gonna say, are you the Duggars? But the Duggars didn't end up well. There's some stories
But
coming out with the
or
Duggars.
5 are my bio, 15 are foster, and 3 are
23.
Was there really 23 children, Cindy?
Probably not all at the same time. I
Holy
mean,
cow.
10 is a lot. Our 5 is a lot.
I find 5 to be a lot. I can't even imagine. Wow. And Carrie says to Kate, yeah, the fellowship is difficult. And especially for you ladies that don't get a chance to, physically interact with people. And it's like it's such an interesting time also in our world where we just don't understand why the Lord protects us and keeps us. That expression set apart has whole new meaning now, and it is, I don't know. We just have to accept the blessing there is in that too, because the Lord is growing us in very unique ways, and especially in this time when we could be exposed to so much evil, being isolated to a certain extent may be a blessing that He's doing on purpose. And Cindy's saying, right, not all at the same time, but that's still a lot.
Yeah.
Cindy, you're superwoman.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes, super mom. That's amazing.
It's also coming to mind, and I just heard this recently, and I don't know who.
Did we read Jim's too?
Not yet.
Okay.
Is that even a simple note to somebody or a letter to somebody that maybe you haven't spoken to in a while, maybe about your journey or about what's going on with your life, may be enough to trigger somebody to maybe even give you a call and say, I wanted to hear more about what you're talking about. Yes. I think strangely enough, that might be during an interview with President Trump or somebody that helped. It was that person that helped President Trump write his book that's all about, that shows all the letters that he has written and he has received. And it was during that discussion that people have forgotten the skill and the power of writing a letter to somebody, not an email, not a text, but handwriting a letter to somebody.
Right.
So, I mean, it just is another thing that maybe, from time to time you write out a letter to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, and that may be enough to bless somebody.
Absolutely.
So all these little things you can think of, just be creative. Let's go and see what Jim Reimann has to say on the devotional.
It may sound trite to say, bloom where you are planted, but there's profound truth in this simple statement. Amen. Paul addressed this very issue by saying each one should retain the place in life that the Lord assigned to him. That's so good. And to which God has called him. This is the rule I lay down in all the churches. And that's from 1 Corinthians 7:17. We need to come to the realization our Lord has many different roles and gifts he bestows on his people. We have different gifts according to the grace he's given us. That's Romans 12:6. So not only is it important for each of us to exercise what our gift entails, it is important we exercise it precisely where God would have us do so. That's what's that's the story he's been telling me. Like it's not just the gift, it's you exercise it where I plant you. And we need each other to be faithful to this so that we as God's church do not become unbalanced. We depend on each other. The importance of reaffirming that for somebody, because how many people, especially in tumultuous times, do we hear our friends, oh, we got to move. Oh, we're going to go here. Oh my God, I don't like my life. Oh, I want to change my job. Like just this sense of anxiety or agitation, like not feeling grounded in where the Lord has planted you. Because if you can't have confidence in the grounding, it becomes very difficult to learn the lessons. If you're constantly trying to escape the suffering or what you perceive to be suffering, you never go through the challenge. You're constantly yearning for another location. Does that make sense?
Yep. And then you'll never make the change in the world around you.
Right.
Because
you're always looking, I'm supposed to go somewhere else to do this,
Yep.
Help me, Lord, to use my gifts for your glory where you have placed me. May I be grateful for my gifts and never complain about what you have called me to do and where you have determined I should serve you. I want to turn that into a poster and put it in my bedroom, in our bedroom. I love it. It's so good.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to
Look at Carrie says, set apart and protected. I had not thought of that. It feels you may be right, Hedia. Oh, I love that. That's what I felt. Carrie, that's what came to me. So.
And then Cindy says.
And remember, I was a foster kid. So she is passionate about foster care. I don't know if, you know what, Cindy, if people paid it forward like you did, I don't think we'd have any children in foster care anymore or any children that had to live in a home. It's just so important to turn around and make a blessing from your experiences and your passion. So that's remarkable, Cindy. God bless you for that. Yes, I love where God has called me to pastor in the middle of rural Oklahoma. Absolutely. That is so cool.
I told you I like Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
So I wanted to give is it a praise report? What is it that I want to give maybe it was a God moment more than anything else.
Oh, okay.
So we did something that we've been meaning to do since we moved here, and that is to go for a walk at Yorba Regional Park, which is right down the street.
That was a God moment?
It was a God moment because we're on this new diet, this new program, this new lifestyle of a carnivore diet where we're eating just meat. No vegetables, no fruit, no sugar.
Yeah, don't shame us.
Yeah.
But it's a thing.
It has been incredible. The first God moment with that actually just was a little bit more, it made me feel good. I walked down the stairs and Zara goes, "Oh my gosh, Andy, you've lost so much weight." Was I that fat?
You just it's like swelling. You lost swelling.
Yes. So anyway, we go on this walk at Yorba Regional Park, and it's just, I've not felt that moment with you and us since you lived in Westlake.
What moment?
We go for walks and we lay down the towel or the blanket and sit there. And it just kind of like brought us back to that beginning point. And then, so that's what we did. We went for this walk, which is Yorba Regional Park is a very long park that has a lake and it has ducks and swans.
Because there was COVID in Westlake, so we did a lot of walking and hiking.
Yes. And then I had bought this new blanket contraption from Costco that has, you unzip it and it turns into a blanket. It's like it looks like a pillow and it turns into a blanket. And we threw it down on the ground and we laid on our backs and looked up to the trees. And it was beautiful. God just, again, blessing us with a moment in time where we were alone on a walk. Just rare. And just spent time together. And sometimes we were moments of not talking at all. And then moments of just talking about the kids or random stuff and being on that walk. So I thought that was for me, it was awesome to be on that walk. It really made my day.
You didn't say anything to me.
I am now. I saved it for the devotional.
That's sweet.
Jan Frent says,
I walk at Yorba Regional. Yes, remember? Yeah. I remember that several days a week. My favorite. It's beautiful.
Kate says,
I went out for the first time last Wednesday to Bible study. We are in winter and the heating failed and it set me off on a flare-up. I try to see beyond the pain and fatigue and look to him. Amen. I hope you enjoyed the fellowship, at least, Kate.
So that's a rheumatoid
arthritis.
Very nice. Carrie's giving us hearts and
palm trees
and sun. And that was our walk.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you had a God moment lately? that you can speak of?
Other than my divine appointment, which was a huge God
That's
moment.
a divine appointment. That's not a God moment.
It's not a God moment?
No, it would have been if you would have said it was a God moment. For my men's Bible study, that's one thing that we have during our Bible study. Rob will stop and say, "Okay, who's had a God moment?" And then like today, he goes, "Andy, you always have God moments. What was your God moment?"
And what'd you say?
It was our meeting with Pastor Jack.
Yes.
Having that moment to tell him how much he means to us and
Yes.
why we're grateful that he opened a church when he did. It wasn't obviously just for us, even though he said that. That's why I opened it, just for you guys. So I shared that with them, and they, oh wow, and I go, it was awesome for us to be able to sit there with him.
It was
2-on-1.
And
share that with him.
That was definitely, I would say that was the God moment.
Very good. All right.
And I actually think it's so because me and Andy are on this new diet, it was interesting to me because I felt like it's so interesting. I can't even explain it. Like I was telling people, they're like, why are you doing that? Because most people do it to lose weight, and that's just I don't need it to lose weight. And I just tell them, like, I open this drawer at night and I do what do you call it? The pharmacy.
Yeah.
And I can't even tell you, there's literally 30 bottles, and I have to put supplements into this little pill case, and then the things I have to take at night, and then the things Andy has to take, and then what my daughter has to take. It's like a 45-minute process. And I started to think that this can't be right. I can't keep eating and then having these things like that. I have to supplement everything that I'm eating. And it just felt nice to, my God moment with you actually was cooking together, because we used to do that together all the time. And because we're on this special diet, we're eating at home now. And it just felt really nice to go back to cooking our own food.
All day. We've been in the kitchen all day.
But it was nice.
Yes.
No?
Yes. Oh no. That I think that's the number 2 God moment.
Oh.
But yeah, that was really good.
I love that. And it for us, it's getting back to basics, because we're eating out all the time. And so then just, by virtue of doing that, you're just polluting your body with God knows what at that point. So it's been really nice.
Many people would say, wait,
finding God's glory where you're planted.
You think that's you think polluting your body, going all the time is polluting, but you're just only eating meat. Like, it really is an insane concept when we've been told the lies by not only the government, by the medical industry, that you have to eat a certain amount of vegetables and fruits and that kind of stuff. We're finding it quite.
It's very difficult to maintain, but it feels
effective.
amazing.
That's the word I was looking for. It's quite effective. Yes. When we talk about the pharmaceuticals, only one of them that I know of is a prescription. Do you have any that are prescription? Maybe one.
Only 2.
Yeah.
My thyroid.
But the 30 other pills that we take are all supplements, because because we're crazy. Number one. But I already feel a great deal of a difference in, the weight just every day. I think I've lost 6 pounds since we started.
Yes.
The clarity, it's difficult in the beginning for you because your body's craving sugar.
Yeah, I have this absolute addiction. I've had polycystic ovarian syndrome my whole beginning of my whole adult life. I don't know. I may still have it. They just stopped checking it because I had no issue with fertility anymore. And that's all from insulin resistance. So I've been battling this literally since I was 18 years old.
Wow.
So yeah. So Kate, I actually sent it to Kate because Jordan Peterson and his daughter had cured so many. And Kate, I'm telling you, if you do the research, watch a bunch of videos, it literally has cured so many people from illnesses like rheumatoid arthritis and other autoimmune diseases.
You got to be careful making claims on the internet. Just I wanted.
Oh right, yeah, I'm not a doctor. Yeah, no, I'm just telling you to watch.
Cured. Yeah, we can't
cured.
Say she's seemingly at the same time that she went on a carnivore diet.
Yeah,
seems
symptoms.
Yep.
Got rid of the symptoms.
Yep.
So whether it's still there, who knows? But it's just, I don't know. It seems like there are so many reports from people that cleared up their symptoms by eliminating toxic food.
I was really shocked to hear what you've shared with me and what we've seen on the videos about vegetables. It just seems like, so now when I walk into Whole Foods, I'm sorry, we've turned into a cooking show again.
Yeah.
But I walked into Whole Foods yesterday, and I walk in there, and the first thing you walk into in that first door there on Valencia and Imperial Highway is vegetables and fruit.
Yes. And, it's so
and it
pretty.
looks beautiful. Yes,
So
it looks
pretty.
beautiful. And when you hear the people talk, they say the grocery stores have created much of this dependency on sugar is through their marketing and the need to sell as many products as possible,
And think
whether
of
it's
this.
good for you or not.
And think of this. What is the WEF fighting? Like, if they're our enemy, we should do absolutely opposite of everything they say. And what is that weirdo Klaus telling everybody now?
Yeah.
No meat.
No meat.
They're literally trying to
Bugs.
eliminate all meat.
Yeah, he wants us to eat bugs.
Yeah. So you say, if this guy wants me to eliminate meat, all I'm going to eat is meat, because there's some reason why this guy doesn't want me to eat it. You know what I mean? So it's just, and Carrie's saying she has a friend that does carnivore for health reasons. Yeah, I got to say, it does. I'm not going to make any claims that we are going to be doing this for the next 15 years. It is extremely difficult. It's an elimination diet. It's something you do to get healthier, but I don't think it's sustainable long-term. There's some people that have done it for years, but I can't imagine doing it for years.
Yeah.
But it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I still love my LifeWise products. I still take those. Last night I slept amazing because of the dream and the clarity. I wake up in the morning, take a strip, man, and I'm off and running.
Yeah, especially when you're not drinking coffee anymore.
Yeah, stop drinking coffee.
Andy's not
Saved
drinking
$130, $130. I did the math. Somewhere around $130 to $140 a month. That I'm
Nice.
saving in
that
coffee.
we're now spending on meat.
Yeah. Kate says we're insane.
Yes. Kate, I want you to do the lion diet challenge. The lion diet. I challenge you, Kate. Even 7 days.
I want to be careful telling people to do something.
No, it's a challenge.
Yeah, just look into it. And if you feel like that's something you want to do, then you
just
make the
try
choice.
it. 7. I'm like, what could kill you? First of all, you get this weird flu-like symptoms in the beginning.
Yeah,
you
it's
eat
not
a
easy.
lot of,
Any diet
easy.
though, anything that you change, like when I stopped drinking coffee, I had a headache for about a week and a half, and it was
and
difficult.
remember, this is not a lifetime commitment. You're just saying, hey, I'm telling you, try this for a couple days and see what happens.
I thought about 31 flavors today for just a second.
For just a second,
Yeah.
or like for 5 minutes?
I said, no, devil out. And the devil went away, wanting me to eat some 31 flavors.
I was out with my daughter because she wanted to eat at this fish place. So I had like this boiled fish, and the guy was paleo. The guy was came off a keto carnivore, and my waiter, and he's like, yeah, man, I lost 80 pounds. And I was like, oh, well, you don't look like you put it back on. He's like, yeah, but I was dying. He's like, I managed to keep the weight off. I learned great eating habits, and I've been able to keep most of the weight off, but he lost 80 pounds on the diet.
But what about his health? I mean, you can lose pounds and not be healthy.
Oh yeah, no,
Right? I mean,
he
you could
said
have
he feels
cancer.
great. Yeah, he said he feels great. He said it was the best thing he ever did.
Yeah. Oh, right now I feel the best I felt in a very long time. I've been very uncomfortable in my gut.
Actually, he's had very bad spasms
in
gastric.
my chest.
Yeah.
I thought I was having a heart attack. I actually went to the emergency room. And then I just didn't feel good. I was tired, even though I was doing everything I could to combat the tiredness. Physically tired.
Yeah.
Like mentally, I was, I was
Sharp
fine.
as
Sharp as a tack, but I was just exhausted. I felt like I was walking through wet sand.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel good. I don't feel like that today. It's been pretty amazing.
And this is not a promotion or a sponsorship or anything.
This is
our walk with Jesus.
Yeah.
Happens to be a meat diet
because we want to be a lion.
We want to be a lion.
Do you in no coffee? Yeah. So much for vegetarian.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm telling you that Klaus Schwab advocates that. I want to do whatever he says. I want to do the opposite.
Yeah. Hey, what is the name of that? It was a TED Talk, but they won't let her use it as a TED Talk.
Michaela Peterson.
Oh, you're not. Can you type it in?
Her name?
Can you find it on the YouTube? On the
This
YouTubes?
fast?
Yes. Give it a shot. Because I just would at least like to put it in the comments, that way they can see. And again, this isn't to suggest to you that the Living Fearless Devotional is saying you guys need to eat.
Yeah. We're just telling you about
I'm
our
just telling
walk.
you what our experience is with the Lion Diet. Look at you, how fast you are. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
So yeah, so let's I'm just going to share this link, and you can watch it and make this would be maybe one of the first videos. I think this was the video that pushed me over to the edge.
Oh, really?
To really give it a sound shot.
Yeah. We're not doctors, we're not nutritionists, we're just
So I put in a link
two kids
to
walking with Jesus.
the YouTube link in the comments. So you just watch that, and it's very short, and hear what her experience is and the difference it made in her life, and then you make a decision, and then watch some other videos.
Dr. Ken Berry.
Ken Berry.
Yeah.
Berry like a berry on a tree, or berry like Barry Manilow?
Barry Manilow.
Barry.
Yes.
Okay. What's his name again?
Dr. Ken Berry.
Dr. Ken Berry.
And that's his website address.
Yes. All right. Now that we've moved this into a cooking show again for the second time in a row.
Well, I mean, let's face it, as followers of Christ, we have family.
Yep.
We have food. We have Jesus. It's not a lot of other topics that we cover. So in any given day, we'll maybe cover all three.
Well, God wants
or
us
one of the two
to take care of our temple,
yes,
our bodily temple.
Absolutely.
And he wants us to be healthy so that we can be out there to share the gospel.
And I don't want to go into the apocalypse needing 30 supplements. This is really does not seem practical. Doesn't seem practical at all. Oh my goodness.
We're gonna be living out of our car, and the back seat's gonna be filled with all the supplements.
Right?
Oh my God.
Kick the kids out to make room for the supplements.
Just one last thing. I just got to share what happens at night. So she was talking about this pharmacy routine that we go to at night. So we're laying there, but we feel like we're like 90-year-old people, but they're mostly supplements. And so I hear she's like sitting there on the edge, in her 90, and I just hear the drawer open, and she just goes to work. You hear the bottles, the sound that those bottles make, the caps taken off, and it's like a pharmacist at Kaiser Permanente.
Yes.
And then I have this little cup that she uses, and she has a little beautiful glass, little tiny little martini glass, but it's a little tiny thing.
No, it's way too small to be a martini glass, like that big. My mom gave it to me for pills.
And you hear these pills getting dropped into each one of these cups, and it takes a good 15, 20 minutes to go through all those pills. Every night this happens. And then she's her back is to me. I'm on my side of the bed. And all of a sudden she just reaches and she goes like that. And then I go, thank you. And I grab it, I throw it back. And then sometimes I forget the cup. And so the next night she's going, hey, did you not give me that cup back? Where's your cup? Where's your cup? And so then I have to crawl on the ground to look for the cup underneath the bed or behind the nightstand, because that's where it falls.
Feels ridiculous, folks. Just feels
I go, no, I gave you back the cup. No, you didn't. The cup's not in here. I go, Hedia, look in the drawer. And then you hear her like going through the drawer, and sometimes there's the cup. And then sometimes the cup is at the foot of the bed under the covers.
Oh
the little cup just goes all over the place.
Oh, it's crazy.
Every night this has been happening. So if the carnivore diet is going to get us out of that madness, then I'm going to eat this steak. Oh, and then today we go to Costco, and Costco has those $1.50 hot dogs with a drink, and I go, oh, I was so hungry. And so I go to Hetty, I go, oh, can I? Because I have to ask her first. She knows everything, and so I go, can I have one of those hot dogs? And she looks, it says all beef. I go, there might be some stuff in there, but you know what? You can have it. And she goes, but you can't have the bun. You see the look on her face. You can have hot dog, and then her face changed. You can't have the bun. I go, okay. So I go to the lady there at the window, and I said, I'll take one of those hot dogs. I go, I don't need the bun. And she looks and she goes, oh, okay. And then she gives me this is
wiener in a bag.
She gives me my wiener in a bag. And then apparently we can eat mustard.
Yes.
And
little
so,
bit. Small quantity.
over there where the mustard and the ketchup and the relishes, there's no cups or anything because they assume you're just going to put it right on the hot dog. And so I'm looking around and there's a couple right to my right here. And I go, well, there's nothing. So I get like 4 napkins and I put the napkins under the mustard, spray mustard into a napkin. And the lady kind of looks, yeah, the kind of lady kind of looks at me and she goes, she kind of looks at her husband like what is this? What is this guy? He doesn't look homeless. but
she thought you were.
I think she thought I was homeless. Like, yeah,
Oh my God!
So now I walk in with a mustard and a wiener in a bag.
In a small garbage bag, like most people carry vodka from 7-Eleven.
To this Ford Expedition, a brand new one. Like they go, oh, I thought he was homeless.
Oh my God, eating the mustard.
So then we're in the truck. I'm so hungry for meat. I'm like a lion in the dipping my wiener in the yellow mustard. and she breaks into the groceries and gets out the mustard. What is it? Munster cheese. And I'm eating a Munster cheese and a wiener with yellow. This is our life. Yes. And this is to get rid of the pharmacy.
Of the pharmacy.
Yes, we got to get rid of the pharmacy.
And not just that, but you have had gastric distress. We literally thought you were having a heart attack. You've done every test under the sun. And every day I ask you, this was 3 months ago. Every day I ask you, do you feel better? You're like, a little.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I
actually didn't because I know you would tell me to go back to the doctor. So I say, I feel a little bit better.
But see, that's scary. That's scary that you're having such, you know what I mean? I don't know if you're having a stroke. I don't know if it's just indigestion. And everybody I watched that was overweight that tried the carnivore diet had the same kind of thing. Men, they were either because they were overweight or they just had constant gastric distress, metabolic syndrome.
Well, what really scared me was the other day when I walked into the bathroom and you said, what's that lump? And I had this lump on my chest right here.
Right.
And it was like the opposite of a lump on my back, like, Quasimodo. Yeah. But it was on my chest. It was like this bump. And I go, oh no, Dan Bongino had a bump and it turned out to be non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. No. And so you scared the bejesus out of me, but it turned out I just had some inflammation, some swelling from sleeping wrong. It was really kind of funny. Like it's not there now anymore.
Thank God.
It's all gone.
But it made Jim laugh too. Just cracking up.
I'm not even kidding you. We should have taken a video of it with me with this wiener and a piece of cheese.
Well, and also like because Andy didn't take the wiener out of the bag and wrap it in a napkin.
No.
He just like a bottle. He was eating it slowly out of this little brown paper bag, like just wrapped around and dipping it.
Yeah, you would have thought I had a whiskey bottle inside that paper bag the way that it was like wrapped up. Like I was going, but I was eating a wiener.
It was so ridiculous.
and then you're opening up the package of cheese and you're like a little mouse, like eating the cheese. Where's it?
So weird.
Oh, this Beverly Hills woman eating cheese in a wiener at Costco. I'm really proud.
I didn't touch the wiener.
I
was afraid it had sugar in it. I didn't touch it. I just ate my cheese. Anyways, it's a little humor for you for Saturday night.
How long do you think Pastor Jack Hibbs is going to keep us on his real life network? Like somebody's going to say, "Hey, Pastor Jack,
have you ever listened to this?
Have you listened to all the way to the end? Because it's fine, and then at the end, it kind of goes off the rails." I'm not sure if you want this on your network. It's not appropriate. We're like those teachers that are getting kicked out of school for doing things that are inappropriate. Oh, okay.
Thank you all.
Yes.
Thank you all for staying with us, for bearing with.
Did we answer the people's question who had a concern as to what it was called and all that kind of stuff? It's called the
carnivore
diet. Right?
Carnivore diet. Cindy says she hasn't been able to eat fruit and vegetables for years. And she ate regular this week and made me sick. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, Cindy. And I'm so curious why rheumatoid arthritis, no dark greens per the nephrologist. Yeah. So it's so fascinating. And Kate says, do we eat eggs and meat? Yes. Eggs, meat, and cheese. We do dairy. Some people have an intolerance to dairy, but me and Andy have no problem. We're both huge cheese fans.
And not milk necessarily, but
No milk.
Heavy cream.
Heavy cream. Because it has no carbs.
It's opposite world.
It really is. It really is.
We also don't drink don't use the heavy cream because it's so full of fat, but that's why it's good.
The fat causes satiety, makes you satiated.
There you go.
And that stops you from overeating. That stops you from being on that vicious glucose cycle, starving, eating, starving, binging. And
we got to go because Lisa's grandson is calling. So
good night. Wiener chicken dinner.
And you can eat chicken too, right?
You can.
Yeah, chicken.
You can. I am not craving chicken at all. We're going to try some lamb.
Yeah, lamb.
I don't know why I'm not craving chicken.
What about pork?
You can. Some people have a sensitivity. If you're doing it for illnesses, autoimmune stuff, from what I've read and listened to, a lot of the autoimmune people cannot tolerate pork. It's a heavy meat,
Yep.
So people just haven't been tolerating it well. But
one last comment. Yeah, Carrie says uric acid is high with.
Well, isn't uric acid come a lot with meat, Carrie? But uric acid is also maybe in green leafy vegetables. That's fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'll have to look into a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
But it seemed to me that that's the thing that Jordan Peterson's daughter was suffering from, wasn't it? Wasn't it rheumatoid arthritis?
Bad.
And it completely went away.
Breaking her, shattering her bones. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Just one quick thing from this discussion is that was originally a TED Talk, but the TED people told her she could not use it as a TED Talk because they felt that diet is too dangerous.
Yes.
So we have to make sure and tell you that too. But
which goes with the whole weirdo Klaus Schwab movement.
Yep. Yeah. So you just can't believe these people anymore. It really is. Really crazy.
See, dark greens and pork have uric acid.
So
that's why Michaela doesn't eat pork.
So that'd be like kale wouldn't that be a dark green?
Spinach.
And
which they say are very toxic. Spinach and kale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, get them out of your diet.
But that's probably why people with RA can't have pork.
All right. All right, my friends. We love you guys.
Thank you. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us and putting up with our shenanigans as usual.
Yes. Laughter is good medicine, Iris says.
Yeah. Very good. All right, my friends. We love you.
God bless. Happy Sunday.
God bless. Take care.